So levels of evidence is a framework, also known as hierarchy of evidence. It's a ranking system that helps identify the most reliable sources of information for answering research questions. The strength of the results of a study can be affected by many factors, as we know, such as the study design, the quality, the setting, etc. And higher levels of evidence indicate that there is a lower risk of bias. It's a concept that is crucial for evidence-based practice and can guide clinicians and researchers in making informed decisions. So the initial level here at the bottom is expert opinion, published in peer-reviewed journals, led by behavioral health scholars, in which they outline their vision for the field and how this AI solution can be integrated in workflows. We have published 3 papers led by scholars from MIT, Palo Alto University, and Yeshiva University. We have another paper still in review. Here at the bottom, you can see a link to the science page of Eleos. We published all of our papers as preprints while they're still in review, so that people can have a look and get an update on where things stand in terms of research for us. The next level is a case report paper. We published one illustrating how the Eleos platform was used in therapy with one client. And while both the expert reviews and case series and case reports, have their place in the evidence levels of evidence, the more we elevate and climb up in the pyramid, we can see that the research is more and more robust. The next step for us is process research. It's not always included in levels of evidence, but I thought that it would be relevant to mention here because we've conducted many studies. 3 have been published and 3 are still under review. This is a type of research that focuses on understanding the mechanisms of change in behavioral health interventions or how therapy is conducted in the field. We know that most research, like the research that I conducted at Stanford, was carried out on very specific selective group of clients that had very minimal severe mental illnesses, and we knew that suicidality was low, etc. At Eleos, we're really interested in learning how is therapy delivered in the field by providers who sometimes have an expectation of 28, 30, or maybe more direct care hours a week, when they don't have a PI, primary investigator, reviewing the work and supervising every client, etc. Just to mention one study that we recently published in the Journal of BMC Psychiatry, we were interested in learning about homework and how they are prescribed in the field and how they are being assessed. We reviewed a few thousand sessions and created a machine learning algorithm that identified homework prescription or assignment and then homework review in the following session. We found that on average, therapists used to prescribe or assign between 4 to 5 activation or behavioral activation recommendations every session, but only half of the sessions included any review of material discussed in the past session. So this means that while therapists have good intentions, always, sometimes the high pressure and stress of the work often leads to undermining the interventions that we assigned. And I thought about myself, and I know that this is something that I have done as well. And we have used the findings of this study to program a machine learning model and part of our artificial intelligence platform that specifically identifies or detects the prescription or assignment of homework and reminds the therapist before the next session that this part of the session has occurred. And these data are also included directly in the progress note. So this is an example of how the process research or research that we conduct in general informs how the algorithms are built, and how the algorithms are built also informs, hopefully, better practice. The next level is a case series paper. This is an observational descriptive research that tests the incorporation of a new intervention, or in our case, a new novel digital AI-based tool in one group of clients before and after. We have now a paper under review describing the implementation of Eleos in one clinic at Palo Alto University Clinic, and 3 more studies are under work. And now I move to the holy grail of research, which is the famous randomized controlled trial, or an RCT. In an RCT, patients are randomly assigned to one of 2 groups: the clinical group, the research group, where the intervention or technology are being tested, and a comparison group that receives an alternative treatment, or sometimes they can be assigned to a waitlist group or receive an app. And because the clients are randomly assigned to each of the 2 groups, we have more confidence in assuming that if there are any group differences, they can be attributed to the intervention, which is, in this case, the new digital tool. We have published 1 RCT last year and have 2 ongoing trials currently collecting data. In our study with the wonderful team of the Ozark Center, a community-based clinic in Joplin, Missouri, we randomized clients to either receive therapy by a therapist using Eleos, or a therapist from the same organization, same program, same level in floor in the building, but not providing therapy through Eleos. And we found that in terms of client satisfaction, there were no differences. Clients reported enjoying coming to therapy and loving their therapist. But we did find that clients whose therapists use Eleos voted with their feet. They attended 67% more sessions. During therapy, they also reported greater reductions in their depressive and anxiety symptoms. Therapists mentioned that they felt more comfortable sitting in their chair as a provider, because they knew that the administrative task of writing the progress note was being taken care of by Eleos. And also they received feedback on the intervention that they were using in the therapy in a way that was supportive of the supervision and consultation that they were receiving at Ozark. And therapists also submitted their notes prior 55 hours earlier than the therapist not using Eleos. So you can understand why they were happier and more relieved when they were seeing their clients. And the final level is systematic review and meta-analysis, synthesizing multiple studies. There are very few published studies in this space, and therefore we honestly invite and welcome researchers to conduct more research in community settings so that we can analyze greater patterns and trends for the field. One last note before we transition back to Danny. In the past decade, our field has heard all about evidence-based care. And I think that many people believe that this is a binary concept. It's either you're practicing evidence-based care or you're not. And in our mind, or at least in my mind, was more aim to think about these randomized controlled trial and whether there is effectiveness or not. But when we look at these level of evidence in this pyramid, we can understand that you really don't need to think only about the big RCT and wait until you get data from that large study. Not every company is able to run this type of studies, especially when they're very early on. But companies should make an attempt to garner outcomes and share their approach with their intended audience in lower levels of evidence, especially as their products make their first initial steps.